Yeah.
Hey, people, we
Hello, hello,
are
hello.
we are the OGs, and as we always say, we do it the way we want to do it because that's we old like that.
Hey, G Hud. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Mike.
Let let me say something to. Let me apologize to G Hood right now
Uh-oh.
because she kind of jumped in my case about last Tuesday because I didn't mention her and Gary at the crawfish kickback, but I thought I did. That's the only problem with calling names. Hey, Nikki, that's
Okay.
the only problem with calling names is miss somebody, and you don't
Miss
do it
J.K.
intentionally.
Miss
Gardner.
J.K. Gardner, how you doing?
Hey,
Nikki,
Miss
how you
JK,
doing?
you don't do these things intentionally, but I missed them because G Hud and Gary was at the table with me. We dined together and laughed and cut up together, but I forgot to shout them out Tuesday night when we was there.
Oop.
Okay, hey Cassandra,
Hey,
glad to
Cassandra.
see you. Don't
Don't
hurt
hurt
the
the harvest,
habits. All
Cassandra.
Hey,
righty,
Cassandra. No hurt the harvest. How we doing?
all righty. Glad to see all of you guys. We're gonna kick around here a few more minutes and let some other people come in the house because what we got to talk about tonight is going to educate some people and going to piss off some people. So that's just the way it
Yeah.
is.
Hey,
Yeah,
everybody not going to like everything.
that's right. That's just the
That's
way it
fact.
is.
That's fact.
We're not doing anything intentionally to downtrodden anybody or make anybody feel down. Yeah, she do look beautiful, don't she,
Yes,
Nikki?
you do.
We're not.
Did you just leave church, Miss Shirley?
No, not this late. No, I was there earlier today.
We we usually
Thanks.
try to lift everybody up, but sometimes you just have to tell it like it is.
Hmm.
You just have to tell it like it is, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Is we're going to talk about some things that, and the reason that I got this inspiration was a fella came to me, and he was as old as I am, and he had an idea that he wanted to raise some rabbits. Hey, see you, sunshine. And I asked him, I said, "Do you know anything about raising rabbits?" He said, "No, it can't be that hard. You just put them in the cage and feed them." Hey, Casey,
In case 55.
yeah, you just put them in the cage and feed them, but it's not. I told him, I said, it's not that simple. It is not that simple. So our subject for tonight is
Okay.
don't do it. And I know many of you want to know don't do what, but don't get livestock because you see other people with it.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
and it's. I know those of you that have pets. If you want to go somewhere or leave for a period of time, then you got to have somebody to take care of them, or you got to take them with you.
True.
And these hotels are sometimes not pet friendly.
Right.
So they
Or
just,
if you find that's one that is, they want to charge you an arm and a leg because they scared your pet might destroy their room.
did you see what Sia Sunshine said? She treat
I
livestock like she treat babies. She admire them from afar.
did.
Hey,
Hey, everybody, like you said, is not into them.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, this is your service goat.
I
Okay.
got service. I thought Mike would say his service squirrel.
Mike's a trip.
Well,
Mike's a trip.
he is partly right. When I first got goats, they were actually my service goats because I used them instead of using a VA psychologist, and the goats gave me more information than the psychologist did.
In other words, they were your therapy.
Kinda
They were
right.
your therapy goats.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
that. Responsibility or the bill. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. See, sunshine.
Yeah. You're gonna have to
That-
pay some out of pocket, regardless of whatever kind of animal you get. I don't even care if it's goldfish. You still got to feed them, change the water, and clean up the algae. So it's, every pet or animal that you get, there is definitely maintenance of some kind.
Yes.
Cost.
Yes.
There's no difference between an animal and your children. The only difference is your children got 2 legs. The animal may have 4 or a fin. That's it.
Hey, G Hunt.
You have to do the same thing for both of them.
Well, hey,
Edmund Brown. Hey.
what
Emma Brown.
what I'm saying is, a lot of people think that just because somebody else got livestock and they brag on them or they do a show on them or content on them, that they can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I told the guy that asked me about the rabbits, this is exactly what I told him. I said, do your research first.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because, you got to do more than just put them in a cage and give them feed. I said, matter of fact, rabbits, you just about got to change their feed every day, especially if it's a container where they can get to it.
You got to have the time and the energy too. I mean, you just can't put them in there and leave them and then walk away. I mean, you still got to give them fresh water. You still got to feed them. You still got to clean out the cage and put in new bedding in it. You got to watch for diseases or something, wrong with the animal. I mean, people just think that because they're animals that they can fend for themselves. Even in the wild, they still got to eat. They still got to have a place to stay. They still have families that, babies that they have to feed and a mate or whatever. So it's there's no way that there's zero maintenance on having animals of any kind, regardless if from a quail to a chicken to a cow or goat or ducks or turkeys or whatever kind of animal you get. There's maintenance and a cost. There's no way around that whatsoever.
Like you said, if you're not, so you can be a full-time caregiver,
Yeah.
just like you taking care of an elder person. If you're not in that position where you can be full-time, then let me tell you something. It's going to take a bunch of time.
Yeah.
And it really is.
Yeah. And if they're really paying attention, looking at some of the people who have them on these lives, they see that these people get up at certain times of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Get up bright and early, as soon as they say, as the sunrise, as the rooster crow,
Right.
bright and early, sun up, and then you got to make sure that they get all in the coops or whatever at sundown, because you have to worry about predators and other things. So it's more than just the notion to having animals. You got to have some kind of, you're going to have to pull time somewhere, somehow to take care of them.
Right.
I'll give you an example concerning my life. I started getting animals in 2017. That's when I got my first goat. Now, in 2023, I hurt myself. But I did not expect my wife to go back there and milk the goats like I do. I did not expect her to feed it, nor the chickens and all that stuff. So in 2023, I sold out all my animals and everything.
Right.
My last goat I was getting rid of, and the people called me and said, you need to be here Saturday to pick up the sheep. So since 23, I've had a sheep out here, but it was just one single sheep. And now I have a goat out here. So I got one sheep and one goat. But the reason I got rid of all my animals was because I couldn't put that on my wife. My wife is not a farmer. I am.
Yeah.
My wife is not a gardener. I am. So I had to get rid of everything because I knew she couldn't take care of it. She comes out and she watch me and she assists every now and then. But if my wife had to do everything I did every day, she'd probably have a stroke. But
Well, I agree with you there, but that's what I was saying. Now, normally it would take me a day or 2 days to build a good chicken fence. Hey, CC, a
Hey,
good
Mary, go with me.
a good
hey,
chicken fence, but it have taken me almost 2 weeks.
CC
Like,
say you got a gardener, J3.
hey, CC, hey, Mary, go with me. Okay. But anyway, like I said, it have taken Jim Boogie and myself about a little over 2 weeks to build that chicken fence. And we had the material, we had everything already there, but we was trying to do it low budget
Yeah.
because we had the material.
mm,
But the thing of it is, if you work full time or you doing something else, or you got other projects going at the same time, or you trying to go on vacation, you got problems.
yeah,
Hey, my
Yeah,
daughter.
but you had Jim Boogie. A lot of us don't have that help. All right. I would love to have a gentleman like Tina. She got Ben.
Hey,
Being
Mona.
always there to help her, and some of you guys have spouses that do help out, or children that might kick in, or
Sister Soil.
grandchildren that might kick in. But for some of us, we don't have always that help. Like right now, I finally got a neighbor who said he doesn't mind coming over and helping me work in the yard right now. He knows my situation. I said, I don't have money to pay you right now. He said, I don't need that. He said, I just want to help you because you're really trying to get it together. So 1 or 2 days out the week, he's been coming by and he's been actually helping me. But if he decide not to come by a week, or just disappear on me, then I had to fend for myself. And I had a few people who said, yeah, just call me and I'll be by. And then when I call, they forget, or they don't show up, or they
That
don't have
part,
enough
yeah.
time. They got a roadmap of excuses. And I'm like, what y'all fail to realize is that gardening can't wait on when you decide you can show up for me. This is something I need done now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
like back in the day, I used to have all the help in the world, but everybody got too busy. They working all these hours and stuff, and it's a whole different, setup now.
Yes. And
Hey,
then,
Mona.
you pay someone to come over and to help you to take care of your livestock when you're gone, but
Yeah,
then they have a conflict
yeah,
and they can't come. So then, I mean, what you do then?
yeah. I was
That's what,
fortunate when I went on my cruise. I was fortunate. It rained at least 4 out of the 7 days I was gone. So that helped on the water. And everybody said, well, we didn't come back because it rained. And I was like, okay, but y'all could have came and checked to see if there was any bugs or something needed. It's like, we ain't no farmers, we ain't no gardeners. We was just going. I was like, so what was you going to do? He said, we just going to water. And I'm just like, okay, thanks.
well, the thing about it is, Jim Boogie, he comes and helps his daddy when he's off, when he can. But he works sometimes 6 days, 7 days. Hey, Tampa.
hey, Tampa.
6 days, 7 days. It just depends on what route he got or where he got to drive to. So that's a different story.
All right, J3.
And but even like you said, sis, even with chickens,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have time to take care of them, and you got to have somebody to feed them, even if you got automatic feeders. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the feed in the automatic feeders.
Yeah.
And then I had the small chicks, that ones that I hadn't took down yet to put in the big pen. And you got to get up there and feed them and put water in.
But you know what? I was noticing that it's just a little bit more than that, especially if you get a sick animal.
Right.
I know I was watching in Jamaica one day, and she had chicks that had what you call pasty butts.
Yeah.
And she was trying to clean their butts so that they wouldn't die. You know, so if you go on vacation and that happens, you're gonna come back to dead, you know, and dying, you know, animals, and then you don't know if the other animals will peck at that dead body, you know, while you're
going. They will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, right. You know, so I'm just saying, you know, those scenarios can pop up, and then too, not everybody has room for pets and animals. So.
That's why she ain't allowed to come to my house.
Yeah, she said she would watch somebody chicken, but there might be a few missing. You know?
Oh, so in other words, she's saying she'll come home and she eat chicken nuggets, and you're gonna wonder where she.
Nugget ain't in the cage, nugget in the frying pan with CC.
You know the thing about chickens, they will, and they got, as Gio say, they got every predator it is.
Yeah.
Every predator it is. So you've got to make sure that your cage or your fence or your pen, whatever, is secure. And then if you got people supposed to be looking after your livestock while you're gone, then and they don't show up. So if you got one that's got a problem and they're pecking at it, you come back, that one eventually gonna be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So and you know, I was watching Fifi. Fifi was standing out in her yard, and she wondered why her chickens went back inside the coop. And then she took the camera and showed the trees, and there was hawks sitting up in the top of the trees, you know, just waiting on somebody to have an opening, because fortunately she had netting over the area, you know, but they're looking for the door to open so they could just swoop right in. But she wondered why she opened up the door to let the chickens out, but they all went back in. They sensed a predator was in the area, and they was getting themselves out of danger. So it you know, it just amazes me how smart animals are, even though they're in a protective area, that there's danger that's outside that, you know,
right.
They got good eyesight, very good eyesight.
Oh yeah.
And, their senses are way better than ours.
Yeah.
You can have a bird sitting in a tree a good not miles, but a good distance away from them. They will see it, and if there's no rooster there, they're gonna hightail back into the pen or under the pen or wherever.
Yeah, and they know how to find a hole. Boy, if they find a hole, they can get in there, and you can hear them chickens going crazy in there because they'll let you know.
LGG, welcome in.
Hey,
I spent the night at a girlfriend's house, and in their neighborhood, they have problems with coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear the chickens in the coop. And he's like, uh-oh, something ain't right. And Hareen picked up the coyotes walking across the back end of the property.
Right.
So I was just like, okay. So, yeah.
This is going to sound...
Your chickens will let you know when there's a problem back there. All you got to do is listen for a certain sound. Your chickens will let you know that there's something back there. Cassandra, how you doing? I mean, Case in 55.
Case said she never had help. So she really going to have a hard time. But she's going to grow a few things this year. Well, do what you can, Casey.
Well, I got the same issue. I got deer. Y'all done seen my videos on deer. They come and sit in my garden. They'll eat and then go sit in the end and take a nap. You know, so raccoons. Yeah, and I got raccoons and I got a possum. I got groundhogs. The deer get the top and the groundhog get the bottom, and the raccoons get it the in between. So I have to plant almost 3 times as much in order to get stuff out the yard. And that's another reason why I haven't been too
Hey, Ernie.
keen
Yeah,
on putting stuff out because I
but
got,
for sure they will do that.
Well,
hey,
just like Jamil said that she was looking at a
so yeah,
video
same thing.
where the chicken saw the hawk and ran back in.
Yep.
Well, that not only the hawks, but you got owls at them.
Yeah, Ernie's
Mhm.
cabin. Hello.
You got a little bit of everything at them. And up there where Ernie live at,
Yeah.
and all those foxes and stuff I see on this place is
And we got red.
one of his chicken ever make it back. But back when I was a youngster, my grandma knows they just clipped one of the wings so the chicken
Yeah, so
couldn't
they
fly
can't fly.
out of the pen. But now you better not clip their wing. You better hope that they're able to fly and get away from the predator.
Just one Ella, welcome in.
Yeah.
Hey, just one, Ella.
Hey, just one, Ella.
Yeah.
Another good reason now that you don't really clip them because now they're mostly in a whole locked up cage with roof and all that stuff. But
PIA.
I used to let mine run out and run in the backyard and everything, but they had enough good sense to go back in whenever danger or I start yelling at them. They'll just go back in their area.
PIA.
Ernie said the foxes are getting fat.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Up there off his chickens.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you got no help when you need it, and you're paying for someone to watch your livestock, and then they have a conflict.
Yeah.
So you just up the creek.
Well, that's when we have to watch out for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you just took that weekend vacation in Texas. When I went up to New York, I have a neighbor, and I said I would pay their son just to come and check on them. But I took and I set everything up. I had an automatic water feeder. Whenever the water get low, I had a 55-gallon container of water sitting back there. I put a line in it. Whenever the water go down, it fills up automatically. When it came to the food, I just overfilled their container. Now, if they ate up all that in 1 week, they just had to starve. Because I put like 2 50-pound bags of feed in there for them and stuff. And the goats were easy because I took and put a bale of hay out there. I couldn't put it by the fence, but I put it in the center of the field. So they'll go towards the center and not towards the outer and jump on the hay and jump out while I'm gone.
Well, Ernie said a good dog is a help, which it really is.
Yeah. It is. You got dogs. I have a cat. Even my cat lets me know when there's an animal out there because she'll go to the door. And if I open up the door, she goes out on the front porch and she'll get up on the banister and she'll start looking. She'll let me know when there's something out there.
Right.
And I'm just like, I wish you knew how to bark.
Now they talking about the dog. Make sure you have the right dog for where you live at. Make sure you have the right type of dog. Now, a lot of people believe in the Great Pyrenees. They are good dogs, but not if you're less than 5 acres. I would tell you not to get a Great Pyrenees.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the ladies in our chat have German Shepherds, and they have more than one.
German Shepherd, Collie, or their little sheepdog. That'd be fine. Yeah. But do not get I'm not going to tell you not what to get. But it's best for you not to get a Great Pyrenees if you got less than 5 acres.
Right.
And if you have neighbors, do not get a Great Pyrenees. And another thing, don't let your Great Pyrenees get pregnant by a bulldog, because you will have a bunch of tunnels in your yard that you never knew you had.
Well, seeing Sunshine said
they like to
is not enough.
Yeah, the Great Pyrenees and a pit bull mix. They will dig a bunch of tunnels.
Well, we got.
Is that
But-
Miss Fran?
You ain't getting straight about something.
we got German shepherds, and she had the female had a litter, and she's got rid of all of them except one.
Oh man.
And she said she's gonna keep the one. Now she changed her mind, and she's gonna get rid of the one.
Is it a boy or girl?
Hey, it's a boy. Hey, Dolores.
Dolores.
When do I need to pick him up?
Jed said, when do we need to pick him up? Should have got quiet, not Jed.
I know that you was going to say that about German Shepherds because I didn't seen your spoiled babies. And
She said
I
you can
think
you can pick him up
Nicole-
tomorrow. You want to?
Nicole with her German Shepherds too. So, yeah, I know how much y'all do. Yeah.
You gotta stop
Yeah.
hollering in here and interrupting my live. But like Nikki, we got German shepherds also, and
Mhm.
they are some of the best dogs. But some dogs you just cannot. I repeat, you cannot let loose
True.
and let out.
True.
They'll tear up your garden. They will dig everything up in your garden. And if they don't dig it up, they will eat it up.
Not only your garden, they will tear you up. You know what I mean?
You know, your dog must not be trained. Your dog must not be trained.
That's
Yeah.
the problem about a lot of the German shepherds. If they are trained for attack dogs,
Right.
then you definitely don't want them. Hey, Miss Linda, you
Right.
definitely don't want you don't want those out.
Well, my dog was
Yes, that's right,
semi-trained by.
Nikki.
He was trained by me and these other people I know. And my neighbor tried to shake my hand, and he almost bite her. I said, "You don't need to shake my hand," because she put her hand out for me to shake. I said, "No, stop." I said, "You don't need to shake my hand. We're just having a conversation." And now Sergeant Savage, he was an outstanding dog. As a youngster, I twisted his head back, put my pew on his face. I said, "If you bite anybody in this house, you will be gone." And I did that one more time. He was chasing the chickens, and I did the same thing. And I told him, "If you eat one of these chickens, you will be gone." And the thing to this, I twist his head so he could see me, that I'm the boss. And I told him, "If you eat one of these chickens, I will get you."
Well,
From the whole time he was here, if a chicken get out, he will chase that chicken back to the yard, but he will not open his mouth at that chicken.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why I love Sergeant Savage.
that's it's even. I know Nikki got German shepherds also, but
Mhm.
that even with your dogs, it's livestock.
Yes.
Yeah. They still got to be cared for. Yeah.
That's right. So it's something.
She messing with you tonight, J3.
Sergeant Savage is gone, CC. I wish he was. I got to get me another Sergeant Savage number 2, but I got to get me another German Shepherd.
Well, the thing of it is it. We are still in that same predicament, whereas you got to pay somebody, or you got to get somebody to take care of that livestock.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, people. Just because you got children, don't
Miss
mean
Linda.
jack.
Mr. Dolores,
Yes. These
You know,
dogs.
passion and
Yeah,
tree.
they can eat too. Yeah, like she said, them dogs can put away some food. So you can't put
Yeah.
out there a bowl and then say, "Oh, you gonna be good for the next couple of days." That ain't gonna work.
No.
Yeah. One of the concerning the taking care of the dog. One thing that I've learned in keeping my dog, I will not feed my dog food anymore. My dog will eat what I eat. I come to that realization. I understand people feed them dog food and stuff, but that dog food is not good for your dogs. I've learned that.
Yeah.
So he might eat what I ate yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Or he might eat the same thing I eat today, but he will not eat that dog food. He will eat the same thing I eat.
You don't know what's in that dog food.
Right.
Well,
And you know what they had dog food that was coming in from other countries that people were giving to their pets, and they were killing them. They were dying left and right. And it was nothing they were saying or doing, and they banned it. But meanwhile, how many people lost their pets behind them eating that tainted, dog food, and it's scary. I always laugh at Cece because when she's out in her garden, her dog is always following behind her. She's throwing him, the strawberries. Yeah, and he loves string beans. She had to get him out the string beans because he'd be tearing up them string beans, But it's just nice to know that she said her dog eats what she eats. And so if it's healthy for her, it's healthy for the dog.
Yes.
So, but dogs like just about pretty much everything out here. You just have to know what is dangerous to them. Like I got house plants in my house that's dangerous put to my pet. But where I have them growing at, she never gnaws on them, and I give her own catnip and whatever, so she doesn't bother it. So you have to be careful inside as well as outside when you have pets, And a lot of people, farm animals are not edible. They make them their pets. Like a lot of people won't eat their chickens. They're good for laying eggs, but they name these chickens and they make these chickens their pets. They said they're not raising them for meat birds. They just want them to lay eggs. They could never see themselves eating their chickens unless push come to shove. So, even though we consider pets normally like cats and dogs, it goes beyond that. And they say like ducks and geese are good watchdogs too. They will alarm you as a dog. I done seen a little bit and heard a little bit over the years in regards to what type of animals people keep just because they are more than just laying eggs and being an alarm.
Yeah, well, that I guess I'm guilty of that because I can't eat my chickens.
Okay.
After I fry it up, I guarantee you will.
As long as I don't know that they're mine, let's put it like that. Okay. Now, I don't name my livestock. I don't name. I don't do that, sis. But if I can't do my own. I can't eat my own. Let's put it like that. And it's the same. It's the same way with with my chickens and my rabbits. I raise the rabbits for other people. Okay. I raise the chickens for the eggs, but I can't eat what I raise for some reason. Now, hogs,
see what Miss New Orleans Gardner say. She said, if push come to shove, barbecue chicken.
Well, I guess she's right about that. If push come to shove,
right, push come to shove, you're gonna eat everything that's out.
Now, what I did do I ordered some meat birds, and I raised them just for the meat.
Okay.
But my chickens that lay eggs, I guess I keep them much longer. Let's put it like that.
Mr. Batman, if I was your chicken, I would hold a protest against you.
So why you eating them?
You gonna eat? You ain't gonna eat me. You ain't gonna eat. No, the other one. You gonna eat me, but you don't want to eat them.
Yeah.
Well, I understand, Miss Linda, that your own is the best. I understand that. Mm. That's why I said that I raised meat birds. Now, the meat birds was totally different. I raised those for the meat. I didn't put as much time in with them as I do with my laying hens.
Yeah, but see, she's saying that she know that what you done fed those chickens. You know what I'm saying? Those chickens been eating good, so they ought to be, as Nikki say, young and tender. They ought to be all right.
Well, I don't know about them. I don't know about those hens being young and tender after you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, after you keep them for a while and get the eggs off of them. I don't know if they're young and tender, but that's why I raised my meat birds
Well, that's what I'm
because
saying.
I knew at a certain time it was time for them to go in the freezer.
Sunshine said chicken's going to unionize and protest.
But I've got quite a few people that waits on me to get ready for my next layers to come in.
Okay.
Cause I just let them know that look, I got some roaster or bakers or whatever you want to do with them, and they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have no problem getting rid of them, none whatsoever.
Well, it's just like who is that? Asia on Yellow Door. She raises quail to eat. She uses them as meat birds, and also probably sell them. Jamaica, she does the same thing. She's always got her incubators full, always hatching. It could be as profitable as it can for immediate need to eat as well. So I mean, it's so much you can do with animals if you have the time and energy to do that. Not everybody has the
The
time.
time, that's right,
The time, energy, or the income, because you got to feed all them animals,
Yes,
until you
yes,
sell them, until they, even while you're waiting for them to get to a certain size before you can sell them or give them to the new owners. They still got to be fed. They still
true
have to
this.
be given fresh water. So it's not
Mhm.
cheap. I mean, if you in it to win it, you know how to do it. Sometimes you give these things away free to others to help them along. So that's a cost that you're bearing, as far as
Yeah,
water and food. So and shelter to keep them, because you got to keep them separated from the others to keep from them attacking them or whatever. So and keep them incubated just in case someone or something gets sick. So it's a lot involved when you start getting animals. It's not just, you can't just do it willy-nilly. You really have to sit down and count the cost and the setup, because you have to provide shelter, food, water, protection, medical. It's a lot involved when you start, getting into more than a couple of chickens or a couple of a quail or a couple of turkeys or whatever. The more animals that you get, the more the cost. So
right,
yeah,
right.
and you need the space for them too. I mean, you can't just put them all in an apartment room. I mean, it has been done.
It's been done.
Like I said, it has been done. I had to check myself, because who is that telling us about a gentleman? He raised chickens in the basement for
That was my bishop in
right,
New
see,
York. In New
right, and
York
no one
City,
knew that they were down there. So
he
see,
ra- he
I'm
raised he
listening,
raised chickens in his basement.
and no one knew they were down there. So it can be done. It's just that, do you have that time and energy and finances to do all of that? You know.
Yeah, I guess you're right, LGG. It do cost to be the boss, but it is costly. This is why we did this particular thing tonight. Is don't do it,
Yeah.
and this is why we got that title.
Yes.
And Analytic Garden said that's why my quail cage is still empty. The cost is still a little too high.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you were right there, Analytic, because I, in order to feed the amount of chicks that I got, then I have to make a trip to the feed store, not often, but fairly regular. Hey,
Yeah.
Pat, y'all.
Where's your area? Come back. And that's what I like about my niece. She got chickens and she'll call me. Now I used to get chicken salad all the time from her until she finally I opened up my mouth and started teaching her about chicken salad. Then she started growing her own garden. I don't get as much chicken salad now as I used to. Because she's putting it in her yard, but I am still getting fresh eggs. So
Shot
I
yourself
ain't
in the
too
foot.
bad.
Well,
Yeah.
Pat, y'all, I don't know what zone you in,
But
Okay.
because if you're in my zone or not far away, we can make sure you get some fresh eggs. That's no problemo.
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and I was just like,
We can handle that fresh egg part if you within distance.
So yeah, so I do get the fresh eggs, and
Oh
I
Them some good.
yeah, we can take
Them
care of
some
that.
good.
We can take care of that.
David Corey, the Cropper. What's up, bro?
what's up, D? How are you? The man
Hey,
with the
Dave. I think I sent that guy an invite. I don't understand whatever happened. What happens to him,
proper.
Sister Shirley? Yeah.
Well, Dave, he be cutting hair, and he got chickens. He got a farm over there with him. He got chickens and a cow and all ever else, and he's been harvesting.
I don't think he got cows in his yard. He got chickens in his yard, but not the cows.
I saw a cow over there one day. I don't know if it was his or the neighbor next door, but I did.
That's
see
another
a cow.
location.
Okay.
That's another location, but no,
Oh,
he ain't got no cow in his backyard.
I know. I seen them chickens though.
Yeah.
But that was still part of it. What we're talking about, don't do it. The feed nowadays. If it wasn't that you wanted and needed fresh eggs, it would probably be cheaper to buy.
Yeah. Yes, it
But
would.
Bama, have you seen the prices of what they charging for a coop? And they're not even really good coops. I mean, if you want to get into a customized coop, that's like putting a down payment on a house or a car. I was just like, are you serious? What was I at? Tractor Supply.
Okay, CC.
And it was like $350 for this coop. And I was like, that ain't nothing but 2 pieces of particle board in the door. I said, I would never pay that kind of money for that. I said, with all the scrap lumber I have, I can build one out of some pallets that was in better shape than what they was charging for it. I was like, that's ridiculous.
That's why it took me and Jim Boogie over 2 weeks to build this chicken pen that we just finished up today. because and I'm gonna post it. I got a video. We're gonna put it out there because I wasn't paying that kind of money for a chicken coop that you put together and might not last you but one season. I wasn't paying that because I already had the material. The only thing that I wound up spending was, I think it was $135 because I needed some more studs. Yeah. That was all. But the rest of it, I already had it. And, that just come from just getting stuff that you see, stuff that somebody else throw away or somebody else don't want.
Yeah, but you know what, Bammy? You got those hands. You got those blessed hands where you can build stuff, and you got your son to help work alongside you.
When he off.
I know what you mean by that one. Trust me.
And I understand that, but still, you had those hands. I could, if I had blueprints, I could build one myself. But you just have to have, when you do stuff like that, you would like to have some help because it helps cut down the time on how long it's going to take this project to get done.
Right.
And I like building stuff. I like working with my hand. I'm like Marie. I ain't scared of power tools. I got every kind of power tool you can think of over here to work to build stuff. But it's just that do I want to build a chicken coop or do I want to build a barbecue? Do I want to build a chicken coop or do I want to build a raised bed? I mean, you kind of weigh your options on what you need right now, what you can afford right now, what you can take care of right now.
Right.
Instead of, what can come maybe a month or two later. What I'd rather build my garden beds now, get some food started, and then start saving or start gathering materials to make that chicken coop in the future. And then by that time, hopefully, I'll have all the supplies I need, and I might be able to find someone to work along with me to help build it, So,
yeah, I understand. Well, the thing about it is... I
don't think she meant it like that, David.
The thing about it is LGG, I guess I am blessed, and because I have been doing this for some time. As a matter of fact, Ernest said teach kids to use tools.
David said barbecue pit.
Ernest said teach kids to use tools. I did do several classes with younger people.
Yeah.
showing them how to do stuff, how to build stuff, and what tool was used for what.
Yeah.
I did that with Project Help, Project Hope.
Well, see, I was a curious child. My grandfather, he was a painter, and my uncles, they built stuff. And I would sit out there and tell them, I was like, what is this? How to use this? How to use that? And then after I started working at the Orange Box store for about 4 years, I would always go to the hardware department and they have scratch and dent, tools for little to nothing, plus my employees' discount. I had a friend said my toolbox looked better than his. I was like, eventually I'm gonna need all of this, And I built my own raised beds and I built all kinds of putting stuff together in the house. So I like working with my hands, but I done got a little older now. I can't lift them 25-pound bags of mulch and
Me either.
Hey, I struggle, but I lift it.
Yeah, I cut the bag open. I take my box cutter, I split that bag open, and I empty half of it, and then I can pick the rest of it and dump it. But when you're older, you need.
CC.
Hey, Deborah Garrett.
That's one of the reasons when I do videos and stuff, I really don't show my carport because I got so much projects in there that I'm working on and stop working. I'm working on, and my wife said, "I'd be glad when you get all that stuff out that carport."
Come on, LGG.
Hey.
Cheryl says she used to build them because she was raised by construction workers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sort of like she and Sunshine said a few minutes ago. They took the vocational trade out of the schools. Took it out. And
LGG says she'll come down to your property to learn for free. She'll do work.
Come on.
But see, what we know now
is
what we want to teach our kids and our grandkids,
right?
To be a little more self-sufficient,
Right.
Hey, Sylvia.
They're not teaching it in the schools. They're not promoting classes that they can have a choice to take. This is considered extra curriculum instead of everyday way to survive.
Right.
And so their version of survival and our version of survivals are entirely two different things. So that's why it's left up to us to teach our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids. Like right now, my strawberries are finally lost their flowers and they're getting fruit. I have my first great-granddaughter who will be 2 in July. Hopefully before the end of this month is out, my strawberries have started to ripen. And I literally want to bring my great-grandbaby over here and reach down and pick her own strawberry out of my yard and let her she's had strawberries out of my yard last year, but she's old enough now to bend down and pick her own. And I can't wait. I want to get that on video. I know I'm going to be snorting, snotting, and crying, but this next generation, let them know that there's more to life out here than the supermarket and the open air market and farmers market, but you can actually do this in your own yard. So I'm waiting on that.
Well, Analytic, I see what you're saying there about the shop teachers missing a finger, but I'm not missing a finger, but I got part of the end of one. That was missing. And like I said, it's a dangerous occupation when you're using that skill. So but you got to do what you got to do in order to make it work.
Say LGG, come on, strawberry video. You know what, LGG? Come to think about it, I hope that when she goes out there to grab it, I remember to take my phone to take the video.
How many of you guys remember when they had was it 4-H?
Yeah. 4-H, no, they in 4-H, right? They said 4-H now.
No, I mean, and when they had it in school, what was it? It was 4-H.
It was 4-H because
it's 4-H now.
Take it in there. No, it was 4-H then because I got in the club and I grew a zucchini this big and took it in and won first prize. They had 4-H back in
Yeah,
the
I
day.
thought it was 4-H.
4-H deal more down here in the South. 4-H deal more with the animals and stuff.
Oh
And,
no, we did everything up here with the 4-H. Just one Ella said, I wish I had taken workshop in school, but show me once and I can do it. What I want to know, why did they take everything out? They took out home economics, they took out workshop, they took out everything that these kids
They
need to
took
know
out
how to
shop.
do.
They took out 4-H. They
Right.
took out
They took
everything.
out auto mechanics. They took all that
Yes.
stuff out of the schools. Why?
Well, down here they took 4-H out of the school, but it's connected with the school. They go to the county extension office now for 4-H. So that's what my grandson is in. They don't do it in the school, but they have to leave the school and go to the 4-H office, and that's where they continue at.
Well, see, Sunshine made a good statement. They want to make us dependent on their system,
Yeah.
which
Right.
that's partially true.
That's
That is
that's
partially
true.
And then when you get a trade now, they want
Okay.
you to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. Everything is paid for now. I can't. They want you to pay for uniforms. They want you to pay for classes. They want you to pay for summer school. They want you to pay for everything. Got a price tag on it now.
Everything.
As
I-
Ernest said, it's
I
always a
said-
money thing. That's
Yeah,
right.
she said she wanted to send her kids to summer school, but she couldn't afford it. I said, "What you mean you can't afford it?" She said, "Oh, girl, they charge you for them
It
classes."
ain't free.
Like, what? I was like, "Oh, snap." Okay.
Well, Cheryl, I've had that happen to me too. Okay, you still have Future Farmers of America.
Finger where?
Oh, well, Happy Mac is okay.
Okay. Hey, Happy Mac.
Okay, but
Yeah. They were saying that a lot of those extra classes was taken out because of budget cuts. I was like,
that's bull.
you could have cut football and you could have cut basketball.
You remember last week when we had the show and Mr. Bammitt caught out on us and we talk about the young men? I went to several different counties and I saw people doing work out there. What I did not see was my color out there working. There were people working up on the bridge. They putting a brand new bridge in Vidalia. I did not see nobody of color. On the ground digging holes, I saw some Hispanics, but I didn't see nobody of color. When we had that storm out here in November, they had a whole bunch of trucks loaded up, alignment trucks loaded up by the market. I did not see anybody of color.
Yeah.
So we've got to teach our own, and hopefully we got to get somewhere with them.
And you know what? For all these kids who don't want to go to college, then push them towards a trade, whether it's plumbing or electrical or masonry or one of those. Those trades pay good money, and you don't have to do no 4-year graduate degree in getting into this stuff because there's a shortage on these trades. Everybody's trying to get into IT. Well, IT is not going to fix a leak in the bathroom or a stopped up toilet. We need other trades that need to step up their A game, and plasterers and painters. And I mean, there's a lot of other trades out here that pays good money if they quit trying to push these kids into these debt. Because I mean, how many kids you got graduating with a $200,000 debt they need to pay back, and they still don't have a job, and
they can't find a job worth that. That's right. You're so right.
My grandson is going to the 8th grade, and we get letters here already for him for college loans. He's only going to the 8th grade.
Wow. I refuse to join.
Well, that's true, LGG. We got to push that big brother option. Yeah. That is so true.
And my 3 oldest grandsons, I will pay for you to go to college, but I want you to get a trade first.
Mm-hmm.
You get a trade, and I'll pay for your college. Just get a trade first.
That is great, see, Sunshine.
Yeah, and it's called backup.
Yeah.
It's called backup. You can cover your butt. I mean, I'm the jack of all trades. I have gone to school. I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I can also teach. I have my teaching certificate, but I've also been in the medical field. I've also been in sales. I got a lot of trades, and I'm good at all of them. How do you say? I'm a jack of all trades. So anything that I know that can make some money, and I'm a gardener. I will go out here and pull weeds in your front yard if the price is right. Okay, I ain't doing it for free. Okay, if the price. I've had neighbors on the street
You're
say,
right, Cheryl.
"How much you gonna charge me to do so and so and so?" All right, I'm not gonna just give you any number. I'm gonna go check your yard. If you got a big yard, I'm
So
gonna put a
true,
big price
Sylvia.
tag on it. If it's a small
Yes.
yard, I'm still putting a big price tag on it because that's my time and energy I'm putting into that. So I can do a little bit of this, that, and the third, babysitting, whatever. Okay, and ain't nothing free no more. The best things in life is paid for. It ain't free anymore.
You got to pay for it. There ain't no lie about that.
They're gonna charge you, so I'm gonna charge you. Why should I shortchange myself? No.
Well, that's good, Nikki. But let me give you guys a little something. You might want to get a pencil or paper because we got another trivia coming for Sunday night. Next Sunday night, we got another trivia.
Oh, I thought that was on Tuesday. They was gonna do two.
No, we got that one Tuesday. That's the Father's Day giveaway.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just trying to keep them all straight.
But
my notebook. I just had it.
You probably can remember this one.
Okay. No, I ain't gonna tell that lie.
Okay,
I remember it now. I don't know about it later. I got my notebook.
Okay, we did the OPO and G-Mama Grove got that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Sunday night coming, we're gonna do GPS. GPS.
Okay.
And I ain't talking about no directional finder neither.
Well,
that's the only hint I'm giving right there. But that's gonna be Sunday night at 10. Now Tuesday night at 7:00, we do roll call with Bama at 7:00, and we'll be doing Fatima. We'll be doing the Father's Day giveaway.
Hey, Fatima.
That's where Craft Leo Unbiased.
Thank you, Fatima. I appreciate that.
Franklin Prison, that black community out, it's called the Boxcar area. They still wiping out our communities when we are independent. Yeah, well, that's true. That is so true.
It's been so many black communities that been in history where they were totally black owned. They had the businesses and the whole 9 yards, and then other folks came in and just wiped them out. And it's been done more than once, and it's been repeated over and over and over again. So
it's happening every day. Happening every day.
Right.
Happening every day. That's why I tell people, if you got some property, some land, keep it. Hold on to it.
Yeah.
People run out here and they got a half an acre or a quarter of an acre land. Somebody come in there and make them an offer which they consider maybe more money than they ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And they jump up and sell it.
Yeah.
And then they cannot find, for the life of God, find a place for the amount of money that they sold that property for to live.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, people.
That also went on the topic we had last week too.
Yeah, I'm not.
My daddy wanted to sell a. How you gonna sell it? You got grandchildren, you got children, but you want to sell it. I fussed at him enough, and instead of him letting me do the paperwork, he went and got a lawyer to do the paperwork. I told him if I did it, wouldn't cost you nothing, but he went and paid $300 something to get the paperwork done. All right, no problem, as long as you got it done.
I found out it's still down there, but my cousin took it over property that my aunt left me when she died, and in Georgia. And because I got people all over Georgia, from Columbia, Augusta, Atlanta, all over. And they say, yeah, we down here farming it, but you doing what I would do with it. So keep it. Take care of it. As long as it's feed you and your family and stuff, as long as you don't sell it. Well, you can't unless I sign my John Hancock on there. But as long as you hold on to it and you do and treat it right, y'all keep doing what you're doing. You know, I've been up north. I was born and raised up here, so it's been my home. But I've been back down to Atlanta and a few of the other places in Georgia. And I was like, if I ever decide to come down there and take it over, y'all be ready, because it's hard times everywhere. I might need to come down there and get out this cold and go where it's warm.
She's been out that cold, bro.
You're right. You're right, sis. But you know, my thing is, if you got a piece, keep it. Just hold on to it and keep it. Stop giving people everything you got.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
And when you give, like I said one time before when we was doing one of these lives, that's something that they're not making any more of.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, you're right, Cheryl. Do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, especially on how much they trying to sell it for. You know, your property is worth $200,000, but they want to give you $150. Why you want to give me $150?
50. You know. That's
they might want to give you just $100 for it, thinking you so stupid. You don't know the value of your land, and you got people out here who will sell it like that. You know,
that's right. PIA, mine's too.
Some folks that ain't never had no money, they'll sell it for $25.
Yep.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You know, how you going up and sell something that's been in your family for generations, and then you going up and sell it for $50,000 because you never had $50,000.
Right.
You know, and then you try to go somewhere else and live, and they're gonna charge you $400,000.
Right.
So I mean, make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. Make it make sense.
And sometimes some of these places have more than just land. They might have mineral rights. They might have water rights.
Yes.
They might have all kinds of stuff on there. And that's why they say, do your research. Just don't be all willy-nilly just because you see a couple of trees growing up in the back. No, it's more than that to that land. And you just gave away probably a couple of $1 million worth of land for, like you say, $50,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true, Tad. So true. But anyway, people, that's going to be our time. But let me do this thing one more time now. Next Sunday night, you got to guess what GPS means. That's my trivia. That's the way I do it. And Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on Roll Call with Bambitt, Unbiased and Craft Leo will give the last hint, the last clue for the Father Day giveaway. Hey, Grease.
Hey, grow what I eat.
Grease, what's up? What's up?
For the Father Day giveaway.
Okay.
And that's Tuesday night. And then we'll tell you all about it. Thank you, Ernie.
Okay.
But we're going to say good night. Love you all. And go see Miss Shirley on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. And Jed, what night you come on?
Whenever I pop up.
Whenever you pop up. Okay.
Or you can catch me on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock with Mr. Bambitt, or Sunday night, 10 o'clock with Mr. Bambitt.
The OGs. Okay. Well, that's going to end us tonight. And we're going to say good night. And as I always say, we love you. And there ain't a thing you can do about it.
But love them back.
Night.
Good night, y'all.